Hi, everybody. Um, this is just a quick impromptu message. It is Sunday, and I'm not doing a reading today. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading yesterday. It was pretty intense night. For me, I enjoyed every minute of it, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right? There was a connection that I made that was just super peaceful. Okay, so I do hope that everyone is going through their dark night of the soul, and they're gaining the insights that's required. This morning I had quite a few downloads from my own personal journey that I was really grateful for, because remember, all of this is supposed to be an internal conversation. Okay, as much videos that we're watching on YouTube and all this stuff of gaining some insights and having different teachers convey their lessons with us, at the end of the day, this is a personal journey. Okay, this has everything to do with your higher level of consciousness being in union with it, and so that you can change the reality in which you're living. Okay, and to do so, you have to go down into the depths of your shadow and retrieve different fragments of yourself that has been lost along the way. Okay, if you weren't born into a high vibrational society. Okay, so everyone link up, give the codes, trade codes, the things that they need in order to ascend. All right. Now, what I came on here to say, it's not a reading in particular, but I needed to get this off my chest because I think 2 videos ago I did mention, or the one from yesterday, I did mention that I was going to talk about nature, okay? Because I've seen a thought form kind of emerging amongst different content creators, and this is no shade because, I love you. But this idea that when people recommend that you go out in nature, that's not a fix to your depression. It's never meant to be a fix to your depression. Okay, I know I've heard a lot of people say that this is generic advice. The reason why you're thinking it's generic advice is because it is a truthful advice that transcends all space and time. Okay, whatever logical pathways it took for you to understand that, yes, you may need to be on medication, which I have done, and I'm just giving you the straight up facts. The reason why you're more prone to want to cling to that as a solution, it's because you are not living a natural lifestyle. Okay, the reason why people tell you go out in nature is because that is like one of our attempts to let the external world impact your internal. Okay, because that's what a lot of people that are experiencing these low levels of depression, most of your depression is actually a signal that you rely on the external world to validate you as a person. Okay, I have to take a pause because I am actually cooking some pasta, so let me just go stir the pot real quick. All right, back. Did you hear that? I know I had the mic in my hand the whole time, but did you hear the pot? Okay, all right. So this is just a quick plug, by the way. But yes, that is the reason why you are like feeling it's a generic solution. No, this is deep work. Okay, you're trying to reset your vibration. You're trying to reset yourself because what you're doing right now is leading to states of depression. Okay, we are natural beings, and when you live in unnatural environments for a long period of time, i.e., on the cyber internet, i.e., in whatever these vortexes of city living, okay, it's causing an imbalance in your being. Okay, and that is bringing forth depression. Okay, but when people, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. When you go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yo, you need to stop eating all this sugar, there's an imbalance. You're intaking way more glucose than any other nutrients in your diet. Okay, and that is causing an imbalance. This is why you're experiencing onset diabetes. And instead of addressing that and getting to the core problem of that, people tend to be like, well, how can I work with slowing down the effects of the diabetes? Okay, do you see how you're taking the external and trying to make a solution? All right, when it's really the internal. Why is it that you're craving so much sugar? Where's the imbalance emotionally? Where's the imbalance mentally? Where's the imbalance physically? Okay, we want healthy humans. All right, so yes, is it easy for your brain or really your lower self to just chuck it up as this is generic advice? Yes, but the reason why generic advice helps is because we're trying to restore the balance, and it takes your play in, right? Some people will be more quick to just take pills and drugs than to actually do the foundational work to reset their being, the way that they live. Okay? It is very unhealthy to be eating out dinner all the time. When you are creating your own food, you're building a relationship with the communication between your body, right, and the foods that you're creating. Okay, it requires a lot of internal conversations, and this is not a put down. I'm telling you because I've come from this place. Okay, and I'm not going to be the only one saying it. There's a bunch of people. If you can't intake the information through me, if you can't digest the truth through me, there will be someone that you could digest the truth from. Okay, so it's not generic like la la la. Oh, you think this is an easy fix? No, no one said any about that. No one said anything about being easy or anything like that, right? But we want you to recognize your resonance. Okay, this life that we're creating, this like meta life, okay, it's not natural to your being. Okay, there's something about getting into nature that resets your breathing. Okay, being around well-rooted trees, eating natural foods, unprocessed foods, it literally changes the way that you think. That's the reason why it combats depression and other illnesses. Okay, but your triggered response is to either shun it, criticize it, because you don't want, at the end of the day, the truth is you don't want to change. You want to maintain into a colonized mindset because it is convenient. Okay, and I'm saying this with the absolute love. Okay, so yes, nature can heal all things. It can, but because we've grown up in these societies that have been so unnatural for so long, it literally leads to your own self-deletion. It brings forth that programming. When you're doing something unnatural for too long, you could only, like I said, it's fake. It's a fake life. All right, and you everything that you build upon that fake life will crumble, unfortunately. Okay, the real confidence comes with you being your authentic self. Okay, so I know they're like, again, in the opposite world, they'll tell you just do this, just fix whatever you do, whatever God has given you that needs fixing in your mind. Okay, you can just go and get work done. All right, but then it builds forth a false confidence because you didn't do the thing that was required to actually be proud of the thing that you're presenting. Okay, that's really what it is. All right, when you nourish yourself, yourself gives you back that nourishment in the glow, in the antidepressive hormones that your body naturally releases. But when you try to find workarounds or you try to cut corners with that, the foundation doesn't really withstand. This is why some people, they'll smoke marijuana, right? They'll get little glimpses of being one with nature, quite literally, right? Because it's inside of you, right? Pumping through your blood. Okay, and then it gets you that high and you feel that joy, right? But then once the marijuana goes away, it brings forth an addiction frequency because you can't sustain it on your own. Okay, and I'm just talking truth to power here. Okay, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm saying we are all there. All right, and so if you're coming from a frequency in which you are going through your dark nights of the soul, right, in moments of isolation, you're having a hard time, I challenge you to lean into it. That is shadow work. Okay, and again, I know I criticize a lot of people would be like, oh, it's not love and light all the time. It's not when the shadow part comes up, right? That's the part where you got to be like, I feel uncomfortable with these thought forms. Why? Question it. That's the first thing. Why are you being triggered? What is the thing that's fearful to you? Right? Why is it that if someone recommends going out in nature, your first instinct is like, that's not an easy fix? Consistency is key. It's not just going once a week, right? It's the understanding of putting down the phone, putting down the thoughts that you've been holding on to for years, thought forms that haven't really been serving you other than keeping you in a lower state of depression, not empowering you. These thoughts are not empowering you. And I granted, hear me out, because again, I have and actually do still suffer from PTSD and depression, but that doesn't come from me not being consistent with myself and doing the things that I know the tools that I have, I know that's supposed to help me. right? Because I still experience nightmares randomly, okay, where I have to get up and I'm like, what life am I living? Okay. So even though I am smiling in front of you, I am not saying that, yes, this is going to go away forever and blah, 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 because it could strike you just like that because there's been so long of neuron pathways going down a certain way. Okay. And so I've been getting better with auto correcting them and trying to, just make myself better. All right. But there are times when it just sporadically just comes all over me. Okay. It just sporadically pause. Wow. Okay. But sporadically, it just takes over my body. All right. And I don't look for it. It just happens. Okay. And that's because I was living such a unnatural environment for decades. Okay. So it's going to take some time to slow down the momentum of that and then redirect it to the person that I want to be. Okay. So I just want to share that with you guys. All right. Just be mindful as you're going through this evolution process. All right. It is a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance. Okay. I know Scorpios have a tendency to be extremists. Okay. That means, oh, that's bad for me. I'm never doing that again. Nah, it's just not, it's not, true. It's not authentic, right? You're going to have cravings. You're going to have, even with thoughts, drama. Okay. Thoughts that you can spend all this time and energy worrying about this other person and what they did and how many years ago and blah, blah, blah. But really, how does that serve you in this moment? Cut it off, redirect your brain to another source. Okay. And that's where you find your best self. All right. That's all I want to say. I want to big up to nature because Lord knows me being submerged in the jungle has worked wonders for my skin, for my teeth. Okay, my teeth is always kind of great. But what I'm trying to say is it's working on something inward. I think the quality of the air, it's cleaner, it's more in balance, right? It's not bringing forth anxiety. All right. So don't knock it. You just really need to be consistent. Just like how you consistently pop those pills to try to redirect the chemical imbalance in the brain, you can do that naturally. Okay? You can do that naturally. Maybe use it as assistance in the beginning because I can't knock it. I've tried it, but I didn't agree with it. Okay, on a fundamental level, I have a strong foundation of being natural. A foundation of being natural. In my earliest consciousness that was placed in, I'm so grateful for my parents who did that. Okay, because it helped me escape a lot of these traps of this world. Okay, all right, or the world that I entered into. Okay, so that's it. Remember, if it's artificial, let it be, unless we're talking about AI. Because let me tell you, give a quick plug for ChatGPT. I know everybody's getting on about this water stuff as if there isn't service for just putting on your computer. Like, server's been existing, okay, and all of them need cooling, okay. But what I'm trying to say is use the AI, because I'm using AI right now to actually teach me things, okay, and it's really exciting about that. Okay, I am excited. I'm sold on it. All right, remember balance. Okay, we're not extremists over here, but my whole point is that don't put anything artificial into your body. Okay, at least keep that boundary if you can. Okay, I know there's candies that we were addicted to. Red number 40. I remember those days. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna knock it. All right, but I'm telling you that you should probably try to ascend it. That's all I'm trying to say. Try to introduce yourself to new things. The same thing if you were like, think about your child when you want a baby and you want the best possible solution for that baby. Treat that baby as if it's yourself right now, without even conceiving or without conception. Right? Try to do what's best for your inner child right now. Reprogram. Hey, let's put down that Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Do we need to take another shot of Henny? I don't think it's doing us any good. Literally, I can feel my cells dying and crying. All right? And that's what a lot of us have gotten used to, is a detachment from self. Let me just poison myself and then ignore the signs of the poisoning. It's like we are addicted to our own trauma. Okay? And we do this on an internal level in everything that we do. I was doing it with drama. Every time I intake dramatic scenarios and stuff like this, and I love good storytelling, and I think that's what was the pull, right? Because every good story needs a plot, but I was realizing I was getting too lost in the frenzy of drama. and that was just being more, I was just attracting more and more of it. All right, this is where we talk about accountability. This is when you start taking accountability for the world that you're creating and the projections that you have. All right, on this channel, I dedicate my whole time in not serving a God external from myself, but understanding that that force is internal. I don't find it robbery to be one with God. Okay, I don't. All right, and I don't even feel everyone has this power, but everyone doesn't want to recognize that power. They want to be in a victimization mentality. They want to give their power away easily, and there's those who will gladly collect it. Okay, yes, blame all your works on me so this way I can keep you enslaved, and I don't want anybody to be enslaved. Okay, I want you to empower yourself, because that is where the true freedom is. Okay, good or bad. Make sure every lesson is your lesson in your own cycle. I'm just coming on here defending nature. Like, why y'all trying to act like I don't be out here healing people? Right? That's what I heard. Nature, they over here talking about generic advice. Like, nature be out here doing her job. Okay? You better put some respect on her name. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everybody.